Okay, so now that we have our single view made, let's go into the code and wrap as much as we can into functions so that when we go to make our quad view here, that'll be easy and fast and efficient. So let's just make sure this works here. We've got our camera. It's reading out the focus distance, the focal length, and time code, and then we can pop back into our widget switcher. Great. So let's pop in the code here. And what we're going to want to do is try and stuff as much of this into functions as we can. Otherwise, when we go to make our quad view, we're just going to have nodes everywhere, and we're going to have duplicate blueprints everywhere, and it's just going to be messy. And there's a better way to do it, and I'll show you. So if you've never used functions before, it's just a way to pack code, and then you have the option of having inputs and outputs so that you can send certain information in certain variables into the function, run the function, and then send information out of the function that you can then store in variables. So let's get started. Let's start with a pull down. First, this right here, this opening camera box gray. Let's create a function and let's just call it create pull downs. Okay. And then let's jump out here and let's copy everything from here on and go into our function here and paste it. Let's move this here. Okay. So now what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to go through here and look for everything that we're stating that is specific to our camera box gray, which will be our first view and our quad view. So right here, we're calling this specific combo box. And then right here, the same thing, we're calling this combo box. So we're going to want to move this to the outside of the function and then feed it in so that when we get to camera box blue and camera box yellow and camera box red, we won't have to have different functions for every time. So how you do that is you grab the input here and you click to add input. And then here, just go and check what type this is and match it. So this is a combo box string. Combo box string is the type. And we'll just say the input is called camera box here. And then what we'll want to do is we want to replace all the inputs where camera box gray is. There we go. And we'll delete this. No, I don't want to do that. Undo. And then let's go drag all the way over here and replace that as well. Come on. And then we can delete this. Compile. And then go here and let's grab our function. I think there's our new variable that we made accidentally. Delete that. So you can just grab the function and pull it in. And then from here, you plug in the input. And then you plug in the camera box here. And then you can just go delete all this stuff. You don't need it anymore. There you go. So now when we go to make our 4 different views, our second view, we just grab this. Our third view, we just grab this. Fourth view, we just grab this. And we just change the camera box that's going into it. So you can see where, it's a lot cleaner. It's a lot tidier. It's a lot more efficient. So let's compile this and just make sure that it still works. So there it is. If you want to make sure, just rerun it. So our pull down still works in the function. All right, so let's now go grab our on selection changed. Here, let's move these guys down. Give this a little bit more room. Okay, this one, the button switcher. We don't need to stuff this in a function. We're only going to have one of these. So let's move this up out of the way here. There we go. Okay, so let's make it into the function, and let's call this set image. Close our pull downs. Let's go in here, and let's copy as much as we can. Copy, paste. Now we need to go get the selection, this right here. And this is just a string type. So you can go here, add a selection, so like this, and make this a string here. And you can just replace that. I think that's the only, nope, we had it also going down into there. Okay. Here we are. All right, so there's our inputs, our incoming input for the selection, and that is that's this. It's just capturing what we're selecting here in our pull down box. So scene captures is fine. That's generic enough. All this stuff is generic enough. Here's our camera view gray. So we want to replace this. So this is a image object reference. Create one. And then this is a image object reference. And let's just call this cam view. And let's replace. All right. I would normally be a lot more particular about the cleanliness of my blueprints, but I won't expose myself in this video to how weird I get about it. Okay, now the same thing here, cam view gray. We want to replace this as well. So we can pull off here, cam view gray. Let's get this out of the way here, loop it around or something. I don't know what the place was. And then same thing here, cam view gray. Okay. So all this stuff looks pretty generic. And now here's render target gray and input gray. And we're setting render target gray. We're setting render target gray here as well. Okay, maybe we can set this on the outside. So let's just pull from here. Now we'll change it up. Let's get rid of this set. Let's pull it up here for now. We'll see if we need it. We do need this input X gray and input Y gray. So that is a text box object reference. Let's go here, hit plus. Input X, and this is a text. Where is it? I always pick the wrong one when I do this. Here it is, text box object reference. Nope, box. Box. Object reference. Text box object reference, great. And we'll do one for input Y as well. Okay. Drag this out. X. Let's get Y here. All right, delete those. And then the last thing that we need to go get is when we set it to none, we're setting this to gray. And we want to be able to differentiate color code the different quads. If you're using color coding, you're using numbering or something like that, then you know how to do this. But for now, let's go and let's make this a, what is this? Linear color. So go call this color. Let's call it BG color, maybe. And this is a linear color. Okay, and let's plug this in here. Move this up. Okay, compile. Let's go back to our event graph here. Let's pull our function in. And let's plug that in there. Selection goes into here. Now the cam view is this. And then let's go get our inputs X and Y. Input X, input Y. And then our BG color, we set that to gray. Okay. So before we go delete everything, let's go make sure that that works. Compile. We can rerun this. Okay, we've got our camera, and then back to none, and we're setting our camera. Okay, so that works. Let's go and chuck all this stuff we don't need anymore. All right. All right. Now the last one, we are resizing our render targets. So let's call this set RT res. You can close this. Okay. Let's go and get, where's our render, here it is, all of our render target code here. All right, again, let's copy as much as we can in here. And then, so this is where we're gonna need our render target. So we need to be able to pull that information out of here. So I'll show you how to pull information out, right? So this is what we saved this up here for. So what you wanna do is you wanna add a return node, add return node here. So basically what this does, when this function runs, then it's going to hit this return node. And what you can do is you can set an output here. Let's call this render target. And then this is going to be a render target 2D. I think, yes. Let's try it. And then here's our texture target, and let's plug it. No, we want a texture render target 2D. All right, let's try this again. Texture render target 2D. All right, now we can plug this in here, and we're sending our render target out. And then just for good measure, let's send the camera out as well in case we need it later. Which, let's get the component here. Yeah, here we are. We're setting the gray camera here. So we don't want to set this in here. We missed that last time. Disconnect this and let's set. We want, this is, I think this is a component. Cine camera component. Yep. So camera component. There we go. Disconnect you. No. Delete. All right, compile. And now when you go to the outside of this, you see there's an output here. So then we can grab this render target texture over here. That's camera anyway. Grab this. And now we're setting this variable on the outside. And then let's see here. Where's our camera? Let's grab our camera just in case we need it. Here we are. Let's drag you in. And let's set you as well. Okay. So that's how you send information back out of a function, and then you can pack it into a variable. So now we have this set. Now we can go pull our render target here, and we can set it. No, let's set it inside the function, not here. Okay, there we are. So now let's add an input, and this will be a texture render target, wrong field. Here, texture render target duty. Okay, plug that in. And then we want inputs X and Y. So this is the text box object reference. Input X text box. And let's do input Y. Same thing. So here we go. Here we go. Delete these. Connect this up. Just ignore the fact this isn't super tidy. And let's go here, pull our function. Okay. Now we can set our render target, input X, and input Y. Delete all this stuff. Don't need anymore. Hook up our event. Move you, move you. Okay. So now resize render target, and this will be camera pull down, and this will be sets BG. All right. So now all that code we whittled down to just this in our event graph. Let's go make sure that we didn't break anything. Let's run it. Here's our camera. Open config. Make this super small. Set it. Okay, you see it's super bad resolution. Go back into the config. Set. Okay. So now we just packed everything, or as much as we can, into functions here. And let's grab this all, and let's call this gray quad. So now we'll come back and we'll make the quad view here. So we'll split this into 4 and rebind everything and reset everything back up, and you know, pull out all our functions and have a good time.